The battle for North America's copper empire. Welcome to Legends Untold. Picture this, it's 1843, the shore of Lake Superior is frozen solid, and one surveyor just whacked a copper boulder with a hammer. That single swing lit the fuse on the dirtiest commodity brawl the continent has ever seen. Inside a year, speculators, soldiers, and full-time swindlers stampeded north, treaties went up in smoke, and a single mine started shipping more copper than the entire US Army could haul. When the chaos finally cooled, one guy owned the wires that still carry electricity to your house, and the rules of American capitalism had been rewritten in copper ink. Section 1, the spark. The Keweenaw Peninsula stabs into Lake Superior like a snapped blade. Ojibwe hunters had been plucking pure copper nuggets from the ground for 3 millennia, but to Eastern investors it was just empty wilderness on a map. Washington rushed the Treaty of La Pointe through in 1842, the tribe kept hunting rights, the copper went to Uncle Sam. Overnight, land prices leapt from a nickel an acre to half a dollar. Boston's first paddle wheeler of capitalists arrived before the ink dried, carrying one order: grab every reddish glint of shoreline before the next guy does. Section 2, the rush. By 1845 the Cliff Mine was handing investors $4 back for every dollar in. California gold looked like spare change by comparison. Prospectors staked claims with shovels and whiskey, arguments ended in fistfights or lawsuits, whichever finished first. Then the Pittsburgh and Boston Mining Company rolled in with state lobbying contracts and a private militia of Cornish hard rock miners. They bought out the little guys for a song, convinced Michigan's governor to park troops at Fort Wilkins to protect national security, and made sure the only boats leaving the docks were theirs. Section 3, the Kingmaker. Into the mayhem stepped Samuel Hill, a soft-spoken Quincy investor who realized the real pickaxe was the share certificate. While rivals traded punches in saloons, Hill scooped up defaulted claims, folded them into the Quincy Mining Company, and borrowed enough from East Coast banks to build the peninsula's first stamp mill. By 1860 Quincy was cranking out half the nation's copper, and Hill signed the paychecks for 1 in 3 Keweenaw families. Rivals called it the copper ring, Hill called it cooperative efficiency. Same coin, different side. Section 4, the war booms never last. In 1864 the Calumet conglomerate drilled a shaft that clipped the edge of Quincy's richest lode. Both sides hired identical lawyers, filed mirror image injunctions, and tunneled under each other like angry moles. A judge ruled the ground belonged to whoever yanked out the first ton, so crews worked by candlelight around the clock. Newspapers nicknamed it the Underground War, and shareholders swapped accusations of industrial espionage. One midnight a Calumet hoist cable snapped, dropping 12 men 400 feet. Sabotage. Never proven, but everyone got the message, this metal had a body count. Section 5, the treaty bled dry and overcapitalized, the companies called a truce in New York, 1866. Deal was simple, Quincy kept the eastern lodes, Calumet took the west, everyone smaller got eaten. Prices leveled, wages froze, and the copper empire became a cozy cartel. Hill retired to a granite mansion overlooking Lake Superior, his personal fortune bigger than the entire federal budget for Indian affairs. Meanwhile the Ojibwe watched their hunting grounds stripped for mine timber and their sacred pits buried under stamp sand. Empires, after all, are built on somebody else's loss. Subscribe and share for the next episode. 30 years after that first surveyor's hammer, North America's copper fields had out-earned every gold rush combined, wired a continent for electricity, and written a corporate playbook still taught in business schools. The battle didn't end with a treaty, it ended with a monopoly. The scars, on rock, on rivers, on communities, are visible from orbit. So next time you flip a light switch, spare a thought for the empire that made it possible, the men who fought to control it, and the land that still hums with the voltage of their ambition.